Are we up and at 'em? There it goes. Chat's triggering now. Okay, maybe we're actually live. Let's find out here. Checking in on my channel and looking for the live button. And hey, yeah, it looks like we are live. Fantastic. Checking my volume here real quick. Check my chat. Yeah, it looks like we are live. Fantastic. Checking my volume here real quick. Check my chat. Yeah, it looks like we are. Yeah, okay. That sounds like a cacophony of Phil. So that's working out as planned. Give me a minute here. I'm going to do social media boost. If you're catching this in the future, you can skip forward like where did I go? Hey, you can skip forward like a minute or two. And I'll get into the thick of things. But at the moment, I just need to kick out a rash of social media stuff here real quick, just to announce that I'm live to all the channels and stuff. So, but in the meantime, let me entertain you with my origin story. My name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing games. I illustrate them, and I publish online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past, like 6-7 years. So for some background for where I'm coming from, I've been DMing since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 1995. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. 1999. Let's see. And I've been creating content on the DMsGuild for making 5th edition stuff. Since 2017. So what got me started was the Ravnica, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica setting. Ever since Wizards bought D&D back in around year 2000, we were us as the D&D MTG geeks out there were kind of excited about the idea of there being an official color mana system for D&D, but didn't happen in 3rd edition, didn't happen in 4th edition. Finally, 17 years later, they released Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, and true to the tenets of 5e, instead of expanding and making a new magic system to incorporate Magic the Gathering, they distilled Magic the Gathering down to use the Vancian spell slot system with the 8 schools of magic that are already established. Basically just reflavoring the guilds of Ravnica to fit inside of what the D&D structure is by mainly just making them flavor text to what guild they belong to and what their beliefs are and stuff. So that was unsatisfying because color mana is an incredibly strong magic system. Very, very strong mechanically as well as narratively. I recommend you check out a channel called Dicetry, D-I-C-E-T-R-Y, for an extensive library on YouTube about the flavor and philosophies and narrative that goes into color theory with Magic the Gathering. So since that wasn't something that got provided to us by Wizards of the Coast, I made it myself and put it on the DMsGuild called the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rules. You can see a whole batch of them here, and if you were to go to my list of books here. My Spelljammer book came out in March. Color Mana System, we got like 6 books in the collection now since 2017 till present. Pacts and Patrons of Ravnica is separate, but again, it's a book of Warlock options for the 10 guilds. Theurgy ability check casting, basically it's a skill test to cast spells as rituals. And check out all those books. I'm on the X Twitter platform. If you're on the X Twitter platform as well, I'm at Phil Kearney, where I publish the illustrations that we're working on, announce when I'm going live, work in progress, and coupons to different books that I've created. So if you're interested in my work, they all have free previews. Check them out. Here on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications of when we are live in the future. We're on episode 163 of the design for the Martial Powers game. The full playlist is here. The Martial Powers playtest content is here on my Patreon. You do not need to be a member of my Patreon to access, but God bless you if you want to throw $1 towards me in support. If you click the YouTube stream here, otherwise, if you click Martial Powers, that'll click through to the Google Doc that we're using right now for you. It's read-only, it's unformatted. I haven't hired an editor yet for me to hash through the technical language that we want to use for 2024, but boy, I am looking forward to that. So we were talking about the color mana system. Again, all my books are free preview. So if you were to click on that, you'll see the list of books that I have. And essentially, it It converts the 8 schools of magic into the 5 colors. It disposes of the spell slots and replaces it with a very intuitive spell point system where spend 1 point, first level spell, 9 points, 9th level spell. There you go. There's tenets or aspects of magic for the paradigm. There's white, blue, black, red, and green. And each aspect, like here's some of the guiding principles that kind of define what each color does mechanically inside of the 5e game engine. And then there's 10 types of magic or like non-physical damage that exists inside the game: acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, and thunder. White, blue, black, red, green. The color for each damage type is corresponding with about 500 sample cards from Magic the Gathering that demonstrate, like, for example, lightning bolt is like anything involving lightning, except for one exception of blue. It's always red. Fire-based magic in Magic the Gathering is almost exclusively red, while you see a lot of like acid and poison themed stuff as green creatures and black creatures, necrotic black creatures. Radiant is white energy. Thunder could be blue, red, or green. Poison, we already talked about. So anyway, that's how the colors break down with the damage types. So if you mix the tenets or the aspects of mechanics inside the 5e game engine with the damage types, you get a list of spells. Like Acid Splash is a black or green spell, right? Like we looked up here, acid, black, and green. There you go. So as we tool down further into here, like Fog Cloud, it's clouds, mists. That's blue and green. Goodberry is healing and berries, so that's white and green because white and green is healing. Like if you go up, if you look at here, it's got white as healing and green also as healing, while like white is divinity and black is like soul magic. So if we go down and we look at, like, say, Revivify, 3rd level spell, right? We can see Revivify is both white and black. Divinity, bringing your body back from the dead. Black, bringing your soul back to the body. So these are fun little ways of being able, and you can see, like, if it applies to more than one color, then it can be that color. So the way that the system works is, like, if I have 10 points of mana and I want to throw a fireball at you, that's a 3rd level spell. It's going to take 3 mana to do it. 1 point needs to be red because fireball is predictably a red spell. So as long as I have 1 point of red and 2 other points of any other color, I can throw a fireball. If I wanted to, say, cast Daylight, I would need white or green magic, right? And it's a 3rd level spell, so I'd need 3 points of mana, of which could be white or green, and then any other color from therein. Whenever you finish a long or a short rest, normally you get your mana back on a long rest, but some classes obviously get their resources back on short rests. Regardless of when it is that you get all of your points back, when you take a short or a long rest, if you're using color mana, you can swap what's in your color pool anytime you take a short or a long rest. So like maybe you have more green in your pool than you need right now. You need more white. Take a short rest, swap out your mana, so now you're packing more white instead of green. When you run out of a color, you can't cast that spell anymore. So pretty easy system. You can either just do it narratively, where mana is just generic, and you just narrate it as like using white and green magic, or you could be really strict and actually divide up your mana pool into the individual colors, and then decide what colors your character is devoted to, and then only pick spells from those colors, limiting what options your character has. That sucks, you say. I hate being limited. That's cool. You can learn the spell twice. Once in its original color, and then learn it again to switch what color it's supposed to be in. So if I wanted to make the spell magic black, I could learn it and then learn it again so it becomes a black spell. Or I can research the spell so it's always black in for my character. That's one of the strengths of having like the guilds in Ravnica. The higher in renown you get, the more access you get to their library of abilities. So after a while, you can swap out, like if you're a Boros wizard, you can swap out every spell in the game to be white and red. So it doesn't matter what color you use anymore, as long as it's white or red, you're good to go. But that's like a really powerful spellcaster that's proven over time by being able to swap out their entire spell selection through research to be in the color that their guild represents. So and you can do that with Strixhaven, Theros, any of them. And if you want to use a different paradigm like elementals, air, earth, fire, water, it works the same way. And we're going to be spending some time developing the elemental paradigm once we lock down all this stuff. So if you think this stuff is interesting, like, subscribe, stick around. Today, the martial power system, for those that are not yet indoctrinated, I've been talking about this for 100 some odd episodes at this point, but just to keep up, it's an alternate magic system that provides the same breadth of resources and preparation options that spellcasters already get. So the martial divide in the game is because martial characters are static. They don't really change unless they gain something new with a new level, while casters can swap what they are sometimes every day. And they have a vast pool of resources to spend all these spells on, while martials don't have that. So that means that if you're using a color mana system for like Magic the Gathering, like in the Ravnica setting, all you can really do is say, yeah, my Rakdos barbarian, he's Rakdos, he's a barbarian, you're done, there you go. But by having a magic system in place, much like in 3rd edition at Book of the Nine Swords, barbarians, fighters, monks, paladins, rangers, rogues can all bend into a half-casting class progression that you basically just staple onto the characters, because 5e is such a great game engine that you can just clip on mechanical systems onto it and then just make iterations on how the classes and spells and different things in the game can change as a result of that additional clip-on system. So that's something I'm pretty good at. If you want to check out all the mana books, you see that they're pretty extensive. When we do the updates for 2024, they'll be even more extensive. And if you really want to go off the deep end with mechanical design, you can check out the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that I built. Again, all my books are free previews. You buy books to encourage me to make more books. So God bless you if you do. But this is a deep dive into combat mechanics for movement on a grid that can change scale from 5 foot, 50 foot to 500 foot, so that you can have a character, fighter ships, and vessels all interacting in 5e game mechanics in the same way. So if you want to check this book out, here's changing in scales with ships. You can see their tokens changing. Change of scale here at the 500 foot, like this big square here is a mile, while each of these little squares is 500 feet. Meanwhile, here is a 500 foot square with a bunch of 50 foot squares inside of it. Meanwhile, over here, here's a 50 foot square here with little 5 foot squares inside of it. So you can see all the little elf soldiers unloading from this warbird that's basically a marine boarding craft onto the back of this hammerhead ship. So like if elves were going to invade a hammerhead ship, they would drop a warbird onto its deck and then dump marines out onto the deck, and now you're in melee combat. Or you could try to evade them and stay at distance and engage at the 50 foot scale, or try to outrun them at the 500 foot scale, and then just be lobbing long range combat. So you can check all this stuff out. It all uses 5e game engine mechanics from the Player's Handbook and DMG. But it is a thorough redesign. So designing subsystems and basically tweaking how the 5e game engine works to be able to create new narratives that's my jam. So we're doing that. So I was a big enthusiast of the Book of Nine Swords in 3rd edition, giving those martial characters that breadth of options. It was at the very end of 3e. And it was kind of a testing ground for 4e martial characters, and it was a fantastic system. So now that we have that, 4e disintegrated the martial caster divide by making all the classes essentially the same with different flavor text. That was too far. You need to have mechanical diversity in your classes so they feel different, so that players can resonate and connect with different types of classes. But you have the same unified mana system throughout all 13 classes, so they all have a common thread, so they can all scale with each other properly. So, given that, we're working on the Paladin today, so I'm going to drop down here I'm going to grab the Ranger Scaffold real quick. And let's grab the channeling feature, martial power, spellcasting with power, and then we'll have alternate features feed in after that. So I'm just gonna grab this like that. I'm gonna hit copy, and we're gonna go up here to the Paladin, and Paladin. There we go. Then we can go up into here, this, and then drop it in. There you go. And now we can go to. So what we're gonna do right now, I've got about an hour or so that I have to play today because it's my work lunch. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. No, 9:30 Seattle time, which is 12:30 your time. That's going to be 9:30. That's 7 hours from now. 12, about 19 hours from now, I'll be back on to continue this project. But for today, we are simply going through the scaffold for the paladin to see what stays and what gets changed. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth between the document here and updating it, and going into the new mechanics for 2024 on D&D Beyond. Let's go down to the Paladin. Okay, cool. Let's pluck that out. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to go across here and grab up stuff. Channel Divinity. Do we really need to have a whole table for Channel Divinity? It's either 0, 2, or 3. It doesn't seem like it really needs its own column. All right, but hey, it has its own column. Super do. We'll just fold that in. Lay on hands, spellcasting. There you go. Channeling, spellcasting, lay on hands. Period. So the martial, like the fighter, the barbarian, the monk, the rogue, they can only use martial powers. A paladin and ranger can choose either powers or spells, and they can intermix them. Like you could have, like at first level, you have 4 prepared powers total. That could be 4 spells, or it could be 4 powers, and this also includes feats, your combat masteries and your fighting styles get folded into powers, because you can. With this system, you can choose to prepare feats. You don't gain the ability score increase, but you don't have the prerequisites either. It's a power that you're preparing, as though it were like a cantrip. It's just something that's on that you can do, and you're prepared to do it, and you can keep that feat for however long you have it prepared. So if you just want to leave it in your repertoire day after day, great. Weapon masteries are also prepared powers, so you can always use them. And then there's also damage types. And then there's all the powers, like the 120 powers or whatever, that actually use mana on top of that. So at the first level, you get more. It looks like you have more powers, but in fact, it's sharing both spellcasting, martial powers, combat masteries, and fighting styles. So it takes in a lot, and it unifies all that into the same system. To simplify it, if you don't want to mess around with mana, but you want your character to have more juice, then just give them a bunch of feats and weapon damage types. Super cool. Lay on hands, spellcasting, and see, weapon mastery is no longer its own thing. It now gets folded into the powers. Fighting style no longer exists. Paladin smite is a thing. So Paladin's smite still a thing. Channel Divinity and Paladin subclass. Subclass, ASI at 4, extra attack, Faithful Steed. We're going to leave Faithful Steed in place for now, though we may end up actually changing its presence. There are ways we can fiddle with that. It's level 5, Faithful Steed, right. 6 is roving. 6 here is Aura of Protection. I'm surprised they made Aura of Protection a lower of protection. Subclass feature confirmed. ASI confirmed. Abjure foes. Let's do that. Abjure foes. Aura of Courage. 11 is Radiant Strikes. ASI. $14, Restoring Touch. 15, subclass feature. 16, ASI. 17 is a whole lot of nada. 18 is Aura Expansion. Epic Boon. Subclass feature. Cool. All right, so that's our basic scaffold. I'm now going to go through and look at the individual features. Some of them we already have that are resolved. Some we're going to want to go back and take a look at. So, without further ado, lay on hands. You have a pool of healing power replenishes whenever you finish the rest. You can store a total number of hit points equal to 5 times your paladin's level. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, which could be yourself, and draw power from the point of healing to restore a number of hit points to that creature up to the maximum amount remaining in the pool. You can also expend 5 hit points from the pool of the healing power to remove the poison condition from the creature. Those points don't also restore hit points to the creature. Cool. Okay, so lay on hands. Feature, mana, bop bop. Empower. We don't need to have empowered maneuvers anymore because we've folded all that stuff into the game design level. Let's do it like this. You gain a pool of healing energy that you gain a radiant energy. You gain a, how do they word it? Of healing powers. Radiant power that can heal with a touch. Let's look at the definition of rejuvenate, because healing isn't quite appropriate because of what we're going to do with it. Define rejuvenate. Give new energy or vigor to revitalize. Restore a youthful appearance. Rejuvenate. Yeah. Perfect. You have a... you can channel rejuvenating power that can heal to... You can channel radiant power that can rejuvenate yourself and allies. You gain 5 you can restore hit points. You can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your paladin level. This You can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your paladin level, which is restored when you finish a long rest. Is rest capitalized? Yes, it is. You can use a bonus action to target yourself or a creature within there it is. As an action, as a is action on bonus action not capitalized? As a yeah, it is. Action is capital. Action is not capitalized unto itself. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, including yourself. And restore a number any number of hit points. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, including yourself, and restore any number of hit points. And spend any number of points. You can channel radiant power that can rejuvenate yourself and allies. You gain a pool of hit points equal to 5 times your paladin level, which is replenished when you finish a long rest. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, including yourself, and spend any number of points to heal the creature. To heal. Restore that many hit points. Alternatively, you can spend 5 hit points in the pool to remove the poisoned condition. In addition, this is not the right way to write this, but alternatively, you can instead you can spend 5 hit points in the pool to remove the poison condition. Doing so does not also heal the target. This does not also restore hit points. Alternatively, you can use your pool to restore spent mana from the creature's mana pool. You can spend 5 hit points in the pool for each point of mana each point of mana recovered, which is recovered, not replenished, which is recovered let's see. Alternatively, you can use your pool to restore spent mana to recover spent mana from the target's mana pool. You can spend 5 hit points in the pool for each point of mana recovered this way. Doing so does not restore hit points. Does not also restore hit points. Doing so does not also restore hit points, period. There. So, the Paladin... Okay, so a big issue here is that the strike powers in the martial power system. Strikes can now be done by basically anyone. Cut, paste, perfect. So that destroys some of the Paladin's identity. Paladins are better at smiting than anyone else is because of Paladin's smite, but that's only a step. By having the ability to restore people's mana on top of being able to heal them, that is a far more distinguishing feature that really sets the Paladin apart. When we rebuild the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule Core Mechanics book for 2024, we're going to see the Bard being able to use their spend inspiration to restore mana as well. So that'll be cool. So the Bard and the Paladin are the two classes that can have class features that can restore mana, and then the Artificer can create mana crystals that can be basically destroyed to restore. It's like a mana potion. They basically can make mana potions. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's cool. In a word. Level 1, Lay on Hands. Level 1, new feature. Level 1 variant. Level 1 variant. Lay on Hands. Level 2 variant. Paladin Smite. Modifies Lay on Hands at 2nd level. Spellcasting, channeling, that's good. Lay on Hands, Paladin Smite, Channel Divinity, and Paladins of Class. This is all lining up so far. Let's see. Skip past Spellcasting, we know how that stuff works. Weapon Mastery, we don't need Weapon Mastery. Fighting Style, you can pick any one. It's as many as you want, whatever. Channel Divinity. About Paladin Smite, you always have the Divine Smite spell prepared. In addition, you can cast it without spinning a spell slot, but you must finish a long rest before you can cast this way again. Okay, we're replacing that one off. Okay, let's see. Paladin Smite, starting at 2nd level, when you channel a strike power through a melee weapon attack, you can use your bonus action as part of the attack to generate temporary mana you can use your bonus action starting at 2nd level when you channel a strike power through a melee weapon attack. You can use an empowered bonus action. Is that how we word that? Hold on, let's go check out the attack. Empowered actions. There it goes. An empowered bonus action. An empowered bonus action is you can use your bonus action to generate temporary mana based on the max rank of power you've gained as listed on the table below. Max rank, 1 at first, 3 at 9th, 5 at 17th. Temporary mana gained is 1, 2, and 3. So good language. So starting at second level, when you channel a strike power through a melee weapon attack, you can use an empowered bonus action to add additional powered dice of damage to the strike. Up to you can ignore your max channel limit when you do so. Period. You can expend the temporary mana gained to add additional power dice of damage to the strike power. Period. Capitalize strike. Ignoring your max channel limit when you do so. The damage can be radiant instead of the type listed in the strike's power description. If the target is undead or a fiend, you can roll 2 additional power dice instead of 1. I'm going to remove that. Paladin smite. That's my 20-minute marker. Long rest before you can do it. Yeah. Paladin smite. You always have the divine smite spell. Let's look at the divine smite. 1d8 if the target is a fiend or an undead. Yeah, we're removing that. Channel divinity is you can channel divine energy. Let's see. Okay, so let's make sure this works the way that we want it to. Starting at second. Okay, so here's how it works. The empowered actions, you can sacrifice actions during your turn to gain free mana, temporary mana that can be spent during your turn. If you sacrifice your movement, you gain a point. If you sacrifice an attack, you gain 1 point for each attack that you sacrifice, not including haste or like nick or cleave attacks or attacks gained from a bonus action like flurry of blows. Those don't count. It's just what number of attacks that you have and extra attacks that can be sacrificed to generate mana. Also, bonus action, which we just looked at, you can just generate temporary mana, and these can be used during your turn at any time. So if you're making an attack, you can spend your bonus action when you hit. You can then spend your bonus action to have that extra mana get dumped into an attack. Let's see. Starting at second level, when you channel a strike power, and at second level you can only channel first level spells, and you can only channel first rank powers. So that's 1 die of damage that your power would do. If you sacrifice your bonus action, you get a second point of free mana at second level. So that gives you the 2 dice of damage that the smite would normally give you. But at this level, it's only going to be a 2d6. But it's also infinitely spammable. Starting at second level, when you channel a strike power, when you expend 1 or more points of mana to channel a strike power, when you, through a melee weapon attack, when you hit with a melee weapon attack and expend 1 or more points of mana to channel a strike power, you can use your empowered bonus actions to expend the temporary mana gained You can use an empowered bonus action to expend the temporary mana gain to add additional power dice of damage to the strike power, comma, ignore power, comma, ignoring your max channel limit when you do so. The damage can be radiant instead of the type listed in the strike's power description. Let's see. And channel divinity. So that's good enough for now. This there. Variant, channel divinity, harness divine power. Let's do that. You can use your pool. Use your hit point pool to recover spent mana from the target's mana pool. To the target. Restoring 1 point of mana for 5 hit points. Expending 5 hit points to recover, to restore. One point of mana. Period. Doing so does not also restore hit points. Cool. Okay. I'm pretty content with that. Paladins. From your oath. In addition to any other powers or spells you've learned. Not using martial powers replaces the Paladin Smite spells. Period. Remove these spells from the Rangers, from the Paladin spell list. Number of martial points. Spent to cast a spell is equal to the level of the spell cast. Maintaining concentration on a spell follows the rules of sustaining powers as detailed in the martial powers section, except spells cannot be locked. In addition, now we don't have the ability to do that. There you go. So it's required concentration, period. There you go. Let's see. Variant lay on hands, resolved. Variant paladin smite, resolved. Variant class features divine channel divinity. This is the time when we look at that. Channel divinity equals. How are we doing on time? It's 3 o'clock. When did we start? 45 minutes ago. Okay. Channel divinity. You can channel divine energy directly from the outer planes, using it to fuel magical effects. You start with one such effect, Divine Sense, which is described below. Other paladin features give additional channel divinity effects options. Each time you use this class's channel divinity, you choose which effect from the class to create. You can use this class's channel divinity twice. You regain one of its expended uses when you finish a short rest, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. You gain an additional use when you reach paladin level 11. As if a channel divinity effect requires a saving throw, the DC is equal to your channeling DC. So I'm going to just grab this whole block here, copy. I'm going to open up, copy, paste. You can channel divine power that rejuvenates yourself. That rejuvenates yourself and allies. You gain a pool of hit points equal to 5 times your paladin level, which is recovered when you finish a long rest. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, including yourself, and spend any number of points to restore any number of points that remain in this pool to restore that many hit points. You can spend 5 hit points in the pool to remove the poison condition. Doing so does not also restore hit points. You can use your hit point pool to recover spent mana. Expending 5 hit points, you can expend 5 hit points to restore 1 point of mana. You can expend 5 hit points to restore 1 point of mana. You can expend hit points to restore mana. For every 5 points, for every 5 hit points, expended this way, the target recovers 1 point of mana, period. Doing so does not also restore hit points. Nice. Okay, that's clean. Smite is clean. You can channel divine energy. To cause different effects based on your oath. All paladins You can channel divine energy to cause different effects. I don't like how that's worded. You can channel divine energy directly from the outer planes using it to fuel magical effects. You can channel divine energy to cause different magical effects. All paladins start with divine sense. Other paladin features give additional channel divinity effect options. Each time you use this channel divinity. Each time you use channel divinity, choose which effect choose which effect to create. You can use this class. You can use this feature twice. You regain one of its expended uses when you finish a short rest, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Rest, comma, and you can regain one use when you by expending 2 points of mana. 1, 2, 3. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And level 11 is when you get the second one, so lay on hands 3, lay on hands 2. Channel Divinity, Paladin class, extra attack, Faithful Seed. Okay, cool. Divine Sense. If a Channel Divinity effect requires a saving throw, the DC use the DC equals your channeling usage, period. Divine Sense, period. As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect celestials, fiends, and undead. For the next 10 minutes, or until you have the incapacitated condition, you know the location of any creature of those types within 60 feet of yourself, and you know its creature type. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hollow spell. Give me a second here. As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect. You know the location of any creature of that type within 60 feet of yourself. As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect How's this go? As a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect celestials, fiends, and undead. Let's see. Celestial fiends and undead. For the next 10 minutes, or until you have the incapacitated condition, you know the location of any creature of those types within 60 feet of yourself, and you know its creature type. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated as a hollow spell. Okay. Empowered attacks. We do not need empowered attacks anymore. Level 6 variant. More protection. At 6th level, whenever you or a friendly creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw, the creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to your max rank of power gained as a paladin. You must be conscious to grant this effect and to this bonus. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 30 feet. Move empowered, improved. Yeah, this is basically max rank gained. Your max rank of power. Max rank of power gained as a paladin. This is a variant. It's obviously each of these things you can choose to use or not if you want to. If you go with the full package, this allows your aura protection to not just immediately blow out saving throws. At 6th level, you have second rank powers. So you have a +2 bonus to all saving throws of people around you. By the time you get to 17th level, it's a +5. At 17th level, you probably have a +5 charisma. But at 2nd level, you could have an 18 charisma, which is a +4 bonus to everyone's saving throw. And that's outpacing the saving throw DCs of monsters that you're tailoring. So as always has been and continues to be broken. Cleansing Touch, does that still exist? Divine Sense. Oh yeah, Channel Divinity features. Paladin subclasses, skip past that. Extra attacks, skip past that. Faithful Steed. That's what we missed. I have thoughts about this. Okay, so what does this spell do? You can call on the aid of an otherworldly steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared. What level is Find Steed? 3rd? 2nd. Okay. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared. You can also cast the spell once without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Abjure Foes. That's what's next on tap. Let's see. Will we get to that today? No, we won't. This is where we're gonna stop. Yeah, this is Faithful Steed needs to be okay. So Faithful Steed is just a thing they gave them. It's just something they tacked on at 5th level. You can call on the aid of an otherworldly steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared. I feel like there could be. I feel like there might be an iconic spell that could stand for each oath. So instead of giving a generic Faithful Steed spell, maybe there can be. On the aid of an otherworldly steed, you always have the Find Steed spell prepared. You can also cast this spell once without expending a spell slot, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. I'm gonna leave that one be for now. If a power isn't listed, okay. So the way the rules here work is when you look at the scaffold. If an ability has been removed from the progression, it's no longer available. You can't do it. If there's a power listed but not described down below, it remains unchanged. If it's listed here and it has a description down below, it's either new or modified in some way. So that's how that works. Why Erp? Why Erp old? 1, 2, 3. We'll just leave We'll just leave Faithful Steed as it stands for now. I don't necessarily groove with the way that works, but that's okay. So when we come back, the things we have level 7+, subclass feature ASI. Yeah, Abjure Foes at level 9 is the next thing on our stack. But I have ran out of time for the day, so let's go down to. Is that what it's called? Restoring Touch. Hold on, what does Restoring Touch do? When you usually lay on hands on a creature, you can also remove one of the conditions, blinded, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, stunned. So if I hit points from the healing pool. Okay, Restoring Touch, no reason to update that. That's good as is. Or Expansion, now 30 feet. Epic Boon. Oh, there's Abjure Foes. More protection, got it. Abjure Foes. Abjure Foes goes like this. Magic action, you can expend one use of your class's Channel Divinity to overwhelm foes with awe. As you present your holy symbol of weapon, you can target a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1, that you can see within 60 feet of yourself. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the frightened condition for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. While frightened in this way, a target can do only one of the following on its turn: move, take an action, or take a bonus action. Nice. Okay, Abjure Foes. That is fine as is. I don't need to change it. Good. Or of Courage. You and your allies have immunity to the frightened condition while in Aura of Protection. If a frightened ally enters the area, that condition has no effect while the ally is there. We removed Radiant Strikes. We did not need it because we have the stacking damage from the bonus action. Or Expansion. What was Restoring Touch? Oh yeah, Restoring Touch is fine as is. Or Expansion is fine as is. Epic Boon. And then subclass feature. Epic Boon, and then subclass. Okay, great. So, hey, cool. We actually got through the scaffold without having to make any other changes. So, technically, when we come back, we're going to start working on oaths. So that actually worked out well. Yeah, we did have some modifications. Channel Lay on Hands can now restore mana as well as cure poisons and restore hit points. We can freely mix channeling powers with casting spells. They can learn them both, or they can pair them both. The Paladin Smite can overclock the amount of damage dice you can roll on with power dice past your max level when you use your bonus action to do so. Channel Divinity you can regain Channel Divinity by spending 2 points of mana to recover it. Divine Sense basically remains unchanged. Or Protection we altered, and that's all we need to change. So now we'll go into the subclasses. Yeah. So tomorrow when we come back, we will dive into the Oath of Devotion, Glory, Ancients, and Vengeance. I'll have probably around 2.5, 3 hours to work. So there's a good chance we'll get through all those oaths tomorrow. If we do, then we can maybe get back into Warlocks. Who knows? We'll see what happens. No assumptions yet. Just Paladins when we come back tomorrow morning. That'll be at 9:30 a.m. Seattle time. It's 3:30 here now, so that is 6. That's 18 hours from now. So you guys are welcome to catch up. Hey, Nightmare Warden, what's up, my guy? Man, it is my esteemed pleasure to stream. If you're interested, sorry I'm done. I just wrapped up my day, but if you're into martial powers, you want to check this stuff out, again, all the playtest content is available for you to view here in the full playtest. Oh, not the full playlist. Let's go back here. The martial power playtest content, it's on my Patreon. If you want to tip $1 as a Patreon host, God bless you. Full playlist here on YouTube. Otherwise, you click the Martial Powers button, and it takes you to the same document that I am literally working on right now, but for you, it will be read-only. But you can read everything that we've done to date so far with the system. I've been revising it top-down, so everything is coming along pretty smoothly. So, hey, what's up? Cool, man. I'm glad you were. Anyone that wants to check this out, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Like, subscribe, bell icons. Be welcome to swing into my Discord channel, which is linked here. And here's all the books. You can check them out. The full 5-color mana spell point variant rule system is here, and we're going to be updating all of that for 2024, just like we're going through this process here now to see how the color mana system specifically bends in and can be modified for like the bard, the sorcerer, druid, cleric, all the actual spellcaster classes. This martial powers book is basically a side sister piece, so that all 13 classes all use the same mana system, so that we have a unified preparation and resource mechanic that all characters can use together. So, all right, so that's it for now. I am out of here. I will catch y'all in the morning. Looking forward to it. You have a great night. Cheers.